Welcome to Dialogues for Change. Life is not a void to be filled, it is a plenitude to be discovered. Today, I would like to share with you some very deep insights of Zygmunt Bauman on the question of modernity and ambivalence, which may shed quite some light on how we tend to see and organize reality. Classifying consists in the acts of inclusion and exclusion. Each act of naming splits the world into two: entities that answer to the name and all the rest that do not. Certain entities may be included into a class, made a class, only in as far as other entities are excluded, left outside. Invariably, such operation of inclusion-exclusion is an act of violence perpetrated upon the world and requires the support of a certain amount of coercion. It can hold as long as the volume of applied coercion remains adequate to the task of outbalancing the extent of created discrepancy. Insufficiency of coercion shows itself in the manifest reluctance of entities postulated by the act of classification to fit into assigned classes, and in the appearance of entities under or over-defined with insufficient or excessive meaning, sending no readable signals for action or sending signals that confuse the recipients for being mutually contradictory. Ambivalence is a side product of the labor of classification, and it calls for yet more classifying effort. Though born of the naming-classifying urge, ambivalence may be fought only with a naming that is yet more exact, and classes that are yet more precisely defined. That is, with such operations as will set still tougher counterfactual demands on the discreteness and transparency of the world, and thus give yet more occasion for ambiguity. The struggle against ambivalence is, therefore, both self-destructive and self-propelling. It goes on with unabating strength because it creates its own problems in the course of resolving them. Its intensity, however, varies over time, depending on the availability of force adequate to the task of controlling the extant volume of ambivalence, and also on the presence or absence of awareness that the reduction of ambivalence is a problem of the discovery and application of proper technology, a managerial problem. Both factors combine to make modern times an era of particularly bitter and relentless war against ambivalence. Among the multitude of impossible tasks that modernity set itself, and that made modernity into what it is, the task of order, more precisely and most importantly, of order as a task, stands out as the least possible among the impossible and the least disposable among the indispensable. Indeed, as the archetype for all other tasks, one that renders all other tasks mere metaphors of itself. Order is what is not chaos. Chaos is what is not orderly. Order and chaos are modern twins. They had been conceived amidst the disruption and collapse of the divinely ordained world, which knew of neither necessity nor accident, one that just was, without ever thinking how to make itself to be. That unthinking and careless world which preceded the bifurcation into order and chaos, we find difficult to describe in its own terms. We try to grasp it mostly with the help of negations. We tell ourselves what that world was not, what it did not contain, what it did not know, what it was unaware of. That world would hardly have recognized itself in our descriptions. It would not understand what we are talking about. It would not have survived such understanding. The moment of understanding would have been the sign of its approaching death. And it was. Historically, this understanding was the last sigh of the passing world and the first sound of a newborn modernity. We can think of modernity as of a time when order of the world, of the human habitat, of the human self, and of the connection between all three is reflected upon, a matter of thought, of concern, of a practice that is aware of itself, conscious of being a conscious practice, and wary for the void it would leave were it to halt or merely relent. We can say that the existence is modern in as far as it forks into order and chaos. The existence is modern in as far as it contains the alternative of order and chaos. Indeed, order and chaos, full stop. If it is aimed at all, that is, in as far as it is thought of, order is not aimed as a substitute for an alternative order. The struggle for order is not a fight of one definition against another, of one way of articulating reality against a competitive proposer. It is a fight of determination against ambiguity, of semantic precision against ambivalence, of transparency against obscurity, clarity against fuzziness. Order, as a concept, as a vision, as a purpose, could not be conceived but for the insight into the total ambivalence, the randomness of chaos. Order is continuously engaged in the war of survival. The other of order is not another order. Chaos is its only alternative. The other of order is the miasma of the indeterminate and unpredictable. The other is the uncertainty, the source and archetype of all fear. The tropes of the other of order are undefinability, incoherence, incongruity, incompatibility, illogicality, irrationality, ambiguity, confusion, undecidability, ambivalence. Chaos, the other of order, is pure negativity. It is a denial of all that the order strives to be. It is against that negativity that the positivity of order constitutes itself. But the negativity of chaos is a product of order's self-constitution, its side effect, its waste, and yet the condition sine qua non of its reflective possibility. Without the negativity of chaos, there is no positivity of order. Without chaos, no order. We can say that the existence is modern in as far as it is saturated by the without us a deluge feeling. The existence is modern in as far as it is guided by the urge of designing what otherwise would not be there, designing of itself. These are very, very important thoughts to ponder when we try to see life not as a void to be filled, but a plenitude to be discovered. Because our tendency of ordering the world, of defining it through order and chaos, may not allow us to actually open up to what actually is. I hope these inspirations on Saturday, 28th of April 2012 inspired you.